Hello and welcome all. Today we are here in Cisco Packet Tracer Lab again, and our purpose is to configure Telnet. We want to configure Telnet, which is it's a port. It's a client server application protocol that provides remote access to virtual terminals. Its port number is 23, and it can be enabled via like Active Directory rules or in Windows Defender Firewall. So without further ado, first thing we need to do is go ahead and add ourselves. We need to add ourselves a PC, and we're also going to need just a router. I think we're going to go with router 4321. Now we're also going to need to connect this router to this PC, and routers to PCs use straight through cables. We're going to connect that to Fast Ethernet 0, first interface on this PC, and Gigabit Ethernet 000 for the router. Okay, great. So at this point, we need to go ahead and assign the PC its addresses, and we're going to use the 10.0.0.0 scheme. So let's go ahead and statically configure a 10.0.0. We're going to give it the .2 because our router is going to be our default gateway of 10.0.0.1. Okay. So the next thing we need to do on our router from the command line interface is go ahead and assign its IP address, which is the 10.0.0.1, basically. So for this, we could just type it in, okay, and press enter, and we can get started. So what we're gonna need is first to enter the enable command. Let's go ahead and type enable. Then we need to enter global configuration mode. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna supply this router a host name of router. We're gonna call it R5. You see how immediately it just changed the router's name to R5. The next thing we're gonna do is we need this router that we're accessing from the PC to have global or like a privileged mode when the user wants to enter it. So that's what we're gonna type here now. So what we need to type is enable secret, and I'm just gonna use um, the password. I'm gonna use the password uh, US for like us. And again, this is important for when the user wants to enter the privilege mode from the router from the PC. So let's go ahead and press enter for that. Now we need to enable the interface on this router that has the connection to the PC via the straight through cable, and go ahead and type that. And now you can see router 5 has the interface pulled up. And what we need to do is type the command IP add, and we're going to add the IP address. And we need to type the subnet mask as well. And that's going to be a class A subnet mask 255.0.0.0, which is 8 bits. Okay, great. So next we need to enter the command no shut to enable this router. You see how it just says change state to up, this line protocol here, gigabit 000. That interface is now up. So okay, great. So at this point, what we did was assign the IP to our router, and we used the no shut command to activate again the gigabit 000's interface. Next thing we need to do is type line, and we're gonna use 5 lines. So line 0 and then 5, and we press enter. So Cisco has up to 16 VTY lines. You can add this to your notes if you're studying. The VTY lines are logical lines, which means they aren't physical like the ones you see on a switch or a router, like those ports. They're logical or virtual and needed for configuring and managing and monitoring the devices remotely. So again, they have up to 16, just so you know. Okay, great. So next thing we need to do is we're going to type login. Yep. Okay, great. So after we've typed the login command, what we need to type is password. And how remember how we use US for the first password for the privilege mode? Well, this time I'm just gonna use Michigan. That's where I'm from. So let's go ahead and type Michigan. Okay, great. Now we're gonna exit from the global configuration as well. Great. And then in router one, or excuse me, 5, we're going to type WR. And the WR command is just to save our work, our configuration. So let's go ahead and let that save. And the next thing we need to do after this is go on over to our PC, and then we're just going to ping this router to test the reachability. And after we ping the router, the next thing we're going to do is run the telnet command. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, great. Go to that command prompt again, and we're going to ping our default gateway, or which is our router. And that's good. We're getting some replies here, some successful pings. So next we're going to type telnet, and we're going to type the address of the default gateway or the router. And then we need to be really careful here. This is our opportunity to go ahead and enter our password here, the MI that we just typed. Great. Now from here, what we did is from the PC, we've accessed the user mode of the router. And what we could do from here is access the privilege mode. And to do that, simple, we type the commands en to enable. And then that password, remember, the first one we used for privilege mode was US. Press enter. So great. Now, effectively from PC 0, as you can see, we've accessed, there it is. From PC 0, what we've done is gain access to this router. Again, now we're able to manage remotely, configure this router remotely. You could be pretty much anywhere in the organization, long as you have this good connectivity to this router and things are configured the correct way. Okay, great. Thanks for hanging in there with me. If you see any room for improvements that you see where I could do a little better, please share with me, like and subscribe. And then, until then,